Good morning. We're back again, and one little point that I didn't go over with you last time when we were talking about injuries and things was yours truly got into the worst accident I've ever had in horticulture. And this happened a couple of years ago, and Thomas and I were teaching together. We were right outside here trimming some trees and things, and we had a pole shear, two people with pole shears, and they're about 12 feet long with a big hook on the end, and you pull a rope and it's like a pair of loppers, but you break the branch, cut the branches, you know. And I'm sitting on my little electric cart, and you know, I'm 10 feet, 12 feet away from everybody, directing. Thomas is over there directing, and everybody's working, everybody's safe, we're watching all that. And one student was all done, and he said, "Is that about it?" I said, "Yeah," and he's holding the stick up like this, with the head way up there, and he's 12 feet away. And I didn't think anything of it, and I started looking over here, and on a corner of my eye, he just let go of it. Wham, like that. And it came down, and on the end you got the hook, and right here was like a barrel, piece of metal that held the hook, and it was all smooth. Bam, right on my head. You know, I'm wearing this hat, you know, wearing this hat, you know, nice and soft. And I said, whoa, that was quite a wallop I got there, you know. And everybody started looking at me, and then I started feeling dripping. And I put my hand on my ear full of blood, you know, and I said, hope no brain is coming out, you know. But, so Thomas comes running over, and luckily that day I had a clean handkerchief. I had never used it. So I put that up there, and Thomas put his hand on it. Nobody really looked at it, Thomas. You didn't really look at it, did you?
I just tried to stop the bleeding, put the pressure on it.
Just,
I didn't want to see any brains coming out.
So we just did that, and he put a lot of pressure on it, and you know, I didn't lose consciousness. I didn't do anything. It just felt like that. But if you've never been hit on the teeth, remember I told you I split this lip, and same thing when you get hit on your head. With a piece of wood even, it splits the skin, you know. And so anyway, luckily that day we had an intensive care nurse in the class. She took over, and Stephen got her some stuff to gauze and everything, and they patched it so I can go to the hospital. And I had one of my former employees was working here at the time, and he drove me to Davies Hospital, and I go in there, you know, and I'm dripping all over the place, you know, but they looked at it, and I guess they didn't like the looks at it, so they took me real quick, and the next thing I knew, I had 9 staples in there. And if you've never had staples in your skull, it feels like when you staple with a gun on a wall, or on that's what it felt like. Dink, 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 dink. You know? I had no idea how it worked, you know. I couldn't believe they were going into the skull. They patched it up. One guy shaved my head a little bit. And so I have a picture at home. I got red hair. I never had red hair in my life. I had red hair. And so we took care of that. That was on a Tuesday. I was back at school on the next Tuesday. And the city had called and wanted to know about workman's comp and everything. I said, what for? She says, well, how long are you going to be off? I said, I'm back teaching already. And I said, oh. I said, all I really wanted to be covered was the hospital, because I was working, but I don't need any workman's comp, you know. Oh, she thought that was wonderful, because I guess for a lot of people, this type of injury is good for at least 3 weeks, you know, or more, you know. But in our business, if you're not in the hospital, you go to work. So I was used to that. So anyway, then my oldest son, who's a San Francisco cop heard what went on, and he said, "For God's sake, young man, weren't you wearing a helmet?" I have a helmet. And so the next thing I know, Stevens, on the head of the department's on my back. You know, why weren't you wearing a helmet? I thought I was far enough away. Well, nowadays the protocol is, so for you, in your work, if you're working on the side or whatever, helmets are cheap. This is the helmet that I have now, you know, and you keep that in your trunk, whenever you go out, if you're working up in the air. But nowadays, a lot of people wear it even whatever they're doing on the ground, because other people are around. They may hit you with a tool or something. And this is the delicate part. I hope you know that. So I was lucky all these years. So now, whenever we do tree work, anybody that's near the tree at all, wearing helmets. If you just drag and brush, you wear a helmet, because little blocks of wood could drop or spit up. So remember that. I'm telling you from my bad experience, be careful, watch what's going on, wear all your protective gear, okay? So that's it. Thomas, you have something to say?
No, Gus, I remember through the whole incident, you were kind of smiling. In fact, through the whole incident, you were kind of smiling.
Oh, yeah,
it seemed like.
Well, you know, like I said, now if you see some white matter oozing out of my skull, I think I might have passed out. You know, but to me, I've been cut, been bleeding on the job lots of time, minor stuff. And I looked at that minor, but I might point out to you that they did give me an MRI and they want to make sure I didn't have a concussion. You know, the first thing they ask you, you know, follow this, and you know, I passed all that, but then they gave me an MRI. So you just don't want to get your noggin hit. So make sure. They're cheap. You know, when I first started, why we didn't want a helmet, they were expensive. Nobody had them. So they cost you $75.
Were they iron or something like that?
Yeah, they were aluminum.
Okay.
And then they came out with fiberglass with a big pot like. And now they come out like this, and some of them for tree work they come down a little bit further, like a skull cap too for rock climbing. See, even rock climbing now, they all wear a helmet because stuff could fall from above, and so you want to be protected. Okay? See you later.